thoughts on Barkov's availability tonight?
Well, I'm hopeful, but I can't guarantee it. So we got an incredible run of coming from Seattle up through Vancouver back home and losing 2 or 3 guys to injury. I think we left Anton Luntel in a hotel in Seattle for a week last year. I think Berkey had pneumonia for a month. So we're going to be careful with these. If we think it's guys will play through anything, but sometimes it's just not the smartest thing to do. So we'll get a good feel for him. If he says he can play, then I'm not going to monitor his minutes. So I'll get him out in the ice against one of their 2 big centermen as much as I possibly can, and we'll see. But we'll know.
Sorry to interrupt. Is it hard to get guys kind of squared away while you're on the road? Like, is it tougher for them to get through it and recover while you're traveling?
I don't think so. Like, I mean, because they are, whether it's an injury or an illness, they're with our training staff 24/7. So they get 2 or 3 treatments a day. We got these guys are so good. They're so advanced now with even the stuff we bring on the road. We got portable cold tubs. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So they're around them. I think it's okay. I mean, just it's the standard. Yeah, I got no complaint. We stay in nice hotels. We're fine.
Matthew mentioned how you guys were in this position that Edmonton is last year. Like when you played Vegas that first time, it's the team that kind of broke your heart. And he said it was a very intense game.
Yeah.
You played anger. Do you expect that from Edmonton?
Yeah, I do. The focus, 82 games, it can be a bit of a grind, and finding that energy every night is a challenge. And the good teams find it, but they've got some structure and they got good players, so they win enough games. But these games aren't the same as the other. I don't think. We'll talk about the fact we don't like our last 2 games. They'll talk about they're playing great right now, but these games are different. The intensity level in any team that we've played in the playoffs the last 2 years has just been higher for both teams.
Talked about the rush defense the last 2 games or so.
Yeah.
Is this kind of the ultimate test tonight, just with their speed?
Yeah, I was grumpy. And then I knew that we were coming in here, and it's a piece of our game. You're also not defending, right? They are the number 1 entry team in the league. They got number 1 zone time, and most of that's the chaos caused off entry or some pretty nifty puck movers and puck control people. So if we play our game, we're not shutting them down. It was a 7-game series, not a 4-game series, right? You're not closing that out, but it's foundational to what we do, whether we play Edmonton or we play anybody. We have to play a much better gap game. I don't know, you can't complain just because you lose, but I thought we were okay in Seattle. I didn't like our rush defense against Fan, but they didn't put up 50 shots on us. So it was a tight game. I did not like our rush defense last game, regardless of the score. Whether they'd beaten us 1-0 or 8-7, it wasn't right. And coming into this building, you won't survive it.
What can you say about Sam Reinhart as a competitor and just how impressive it's been, how he's been able to elevate his game season over season?
Yeah. You got to almost stand near him to realize how competitive he is. Very, very quiet man. Exceptionally bright, but hyper competitive. And he only shows it in small facial expressions, like he's not screaming up and down the bench, but if his game isn't right or somebody else's game isn't right, he sees it and it bothers him. Like he's in tune to everything. Very, very bright player. If you want to go ask him what happened in the game tonight, and the answer will be exactly what happened in the game tonight. And when I don't know what's going on, I go ask him.
Well, how would you describe the uniqueness of defending against McDavid and Draisaitl and kind of the differences that they pose for different centermen?
I think they're unstoppable. I mean, I think overall, you will not eliminate the 2 from a game. They're going to get their pieces. They're going to get their chances. I'll tell this story. We're playing Edmonton. I don't know what year it was. Winnipeg played Edmonton in the playoffs, and we're doing our penalty kill video. And they got that deep drop with McDavid. Charlie Huddy, former Oilers, running the PK, so he's got the video. They drop it to Connor, and he's coming through the neutral zone. And I'm waiting for Charlie to say something, but he doesn't say anything. And then you could just hear the guys start to laugh in the room because he's going so fast. And I think it was Derek Forbert just said, when he hits the far blue, I'm going to turn and see if I can meet him at the post. And that was pretty much it. There wasn't, we're going to do, no, that was it. That's how fast they are. That you can't game it, right? I think the challenge is you just can't feed it. You can't be responsible for the broken plays for those 2 men. Certainly different based on maybe weight, but on speed, I don't know how much you guys would know more than I, but they're both almost unstoppable.
Draisaitl is there, like he'd be a number 1 center on a lot of teams. Does that pose a different challenge? Do you kind of go in with a different level? I don't know if respect is the right word, but when you face this team, knowing that you have kind of a 2-headed monster.
you just understand on shift length alone, you're not getting the match. You know, I think I got a 2-time Selke winner in our room, so he's pretty good. And then Bennett and Lundell are both very good defensemen, in a different defensive way, a different style. But Lusteron and Lundell and Reinhardt played as a line almost in a checking role 2 years ago for us, and we had a pretty good playoff run with that. So we have people, but nobody has the answer to those two guys. They got 40 points both of them? Okay.
Paul, tonight Chris Nolan coaches 100th game.
Oh, wow.
And it's you could tie Todd for the 4th most wins in the first 100 games all time. What do you remember about your first 100, and what have you seen as far as maybe respect from an opposing coach you saw head-to-head in the playoffs?
First, John Forsland's here. He'll give you a deep rundown on that. Well, no, my first 100 games. Like Jim, you're not allowed to talk about it. Jimmy Rutherford said to me, well, first thing you got to learn is what door to walk into. After that, you'll just figure it out as you go. It's funny about the truth of that. Like, you don't know anything when you come into the league except possibly the game, and even that, the NHL game is completely different, and then it morphs and changes and grows on you. So what you knew 2 years ago doesn't matter. You got to keep learning. He's done an incredible job with this team. Canadian markets are different than anywhere else. It's a different level of scrutiny. Everything and coaches never get it right all year. We make a ton of mistakes. They're talked about here, and you got to deal with that. And for a young coach, that can be a challenge. I think, listen to some of the interviews, certainly when we're prepping for teams, and definitely in the playoffs, he handles that incredibly well. And that is a big part of working in the Canadian market, is handling that. So I think he's done a marvelous job. He's going to coach in this league for a very, very long time. Hopefully longer than me.
Colton and I, Coach.
Sergei Bobrovsky, and hopefully just one.